Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Lisa, and today is Friday. So you know what to do. You need to wear red for everyone deployed. So shout out to all of our warriors fighting for freedom for us here, home, and away. And there's so many. Sometimes that aren't even in the military, but definitely fighting for freedom. So let's talk more about freedom and get Westwood on here and see what's going on. We had the Litecoin's 11th birthday this year. My son's 12th birthday. We had all kinds of stuff happening this week. So I'll be right back right after this for a good weekly wrap up with Westwood. Happy Friday, Westwood. Cheers to you.
Happy Friday. Freitag. Yes, indeed. How you doing?
I'm good. I need a little kick in the pants. So I'm having an alarm with my kiddo today. I'm changing it up. Dogs are going.
Dogs are in the bar and they're going nuts. Might have to kick some butt here pretty soon. Like I really do that. I was tagging people and I don't even
tag all the people.
I know I'm gonna tag somebody else and we'll be good to go. Hey, knock it off. Hey. Unbelievable.
Is the Uncle Mitch not wrangling the?
No, he's tweeting and shit.
The nieces and nephews of dogdom over
there. Uncle Mitch isn't wrangling the dogs today.
What are they doing to Mitch over there?
Goodness. I know. Somebody left a foo-foo out by the shower.
A foo-foo?
What do you call those things, Mitch? You use them.
Oh, a scrub. I saw it in the chat. Now there's
a delay.
We know about. Okay,
shampoo foo-foo.
Only one person I know used that shower.
I think I know whose foo-foo it is. Then it's not mine.
And for as unfoo-foo a person that is, I think we all know.
That's a fat foo-foo.
That is
a fat foo-foo.
I bet they used it. Who was flipping out about
out of the gate?
Oh, Polly was flipping out about the feet.
Oh yeah,
being barefoot because I love being barefoot.
But there's the grounding thing. Did you see that?
I've seen several of them.
I think I retweeted something today, which you've probably seen because I'm just now catching up with life. But anyway, it's this guy actually went. This is 20 plus years ago. Saw all these people wearing shoes, thinking maybe there's something to this. Maybe humanity's not grounded anymore. Literally not grounded. And so he did a little experiment. He put like metal tape in his bed. And then took a wire and went out and tied it to a grounding rod. And he's like, first night he slept like that, he's like, man, I feel really good. And so he started doing studies on this, took it to somebody that would do the study. He took 60 people and they did the same thing and their health started to improve. And they documented this scientifically, like real science, not trust the science, but real science. Right. And it actually made a difference. Some of their ailments started to heal and go away. All of them felt better. Because they were grounded to the earth. So think about it. You got dogs running around with no shoes on their feet. They're sensitive. They're in tune with things. You know, they know what's going on. And then us, we've got this layer between us and the earth. We're not grounded anymore. And I'm like, oh, that does make a lot of sense. We should be walking around barefooted. And that's what I was going with it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And there's a really cool promoted tweet. Hold on. I'm going to screen share on your Twitter.
And Satoshi Shawn talks about the whole mushroom thing, you know, how everything's interconnected. Think about that. You're walking on the ground and all of that networking, that neural earth network of plants, and you're connecting with it barefooted. We're not doing that anymore.
There's a great documentary out on Netflix right now called Fantastic Fungi.
Fungi, yeah.
Yes.
Fungi.
And it fungi. But it talks about how we always think about roots of trees being connected to the earth and all that, but actually like the fungus layer, the fungi layer is actually like a membrane or a neurotransmitter of the whole earth. It connects underneath enough layers that it actually connects the whole earth through mushrooms. It's pretty incredible.
And and so you think about that. How far does that go if you can connect into that and become sensitive to that and pick up on that? I mean, communicate,
Check out this weird promoted tweet on your Twitter. Can you see this?
On mine?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking.
It's a WAPO. Democracy dies in darkness.
Wow, bring facts to light. Boy, that's appropriate.
Election night and every night. Get the WAPO. Very interesting. And look, it looks like it has like little borders with little lightning bolts, or what are these?
I don't know.
I don't know what those are. Little.
I'm trying to see it. I have to bring it up on my. That's interesting. Dark delight, baby, bringing it. The vampires in the darkness. You put them in the light, it goes away.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a cool promoted tweet. I was trying to find the one you were talking about. Oh, here it is, about the grounded.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good one.
That humans are, we're no longer naturally grounded. I wonder if these shoes could be interfering with us.
We used to wear leather-bound shoes or leather-based
So that night I
shoes.
went to the hardware store and I bought a roll of metal duct tape. And I just taped it across the bed. I threw a wire out the window and it had a ground rod outside. I connected to the ground rod on one side and connected to the metal duct tape that I had laid on the bed. So when I laid down on the duct tape, I was like grounded because it was connected to the earth.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if that helped him sleep.
And I thought, holy cow, there's something going on here, because normally
for me to go to sleep, I have to take Advil. Throw it somewhere.
So I tried to find out what I could. The internet was hardly anything. This is back in '99. I went down to the University of Arizona into one of their medical libraries, and there was nothing. And in fact, I even tried to find the cause of chronic pain. The cause of MS was unknown. The cause of arthritis, unknown. They didn't know. Nobody knew. So I thought, well, I'll go out to LA. I'll go to UCLA and ask them.
Oh, I'm sure
they pretty much laughed me off campus.
Yeah, they're not going to.
They said, you expect us to believe that somebody's going to put a nail in the ground, tie a wire around somebody's toe, and it's going to make them sleep better? I said, get out of here. Go away. You're nuts. So I ended up having to put together my own study. I found an anesthesiologist in San Diego. And he says, I don't think there's anything to what you're doing. There's got to be an anomaly here, but I'll entertain you. He says, I will prove that you're wrong. And we grounded 60 people, and the reports that came in were unbelievable. TMJ disappeared, PMS disappeared, inflammation reduced, pain. Everybody slept better.
Wow.
There you have it. And then I started doing a little research, and that's one I want to watch, the fungi.
Oh, it's so good.
There's another one on Netflix. Paulie said something in the chat and called Earthing, maybe it might be called.
Yeah.
And then there's another video that I added to my Netflix playlist. It was something similar to that, just the interconnectedness. But we've all known that, and we've just gotten away from it. That's really kind of what it comes down to. But you think about what you do on a daily basis and how you're disconnecting yourself from the planet, from the universe, from everything. And we kind of need to probably start doing those things again,
Mm-hmm. No, that's crazy. Well, and I was thinking about, like, we used to have our shoes were leather before. So when did rubber come into? It was during the war, right? And there's a story about rubber tree plants and rubber and.
I don't know the history of it, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, I was thinking maybe you were.
But yeah, there is.
It has something to do with one of the wars, and then.
Most of it was what, in Asia, Southeast Asia? Isn't that where the rubber trees were, I think?
It was only in one place.
That's where it was.
They, was it? Oh gosh, I wish I knew. I'll have to
Somebody in the chat will throw it out.
Yeah, there's some
smart people in the chat that know.
And there's a whole story on it about like how it affected that country and how we started exporting it and what we did to, I'm sure we destroyed their economy somehow.
Oh yeah,
just said, well, sucks for you, buddy.
Yeah, too bad. Join the dollar system.
Yeah, or else. Yeah.
Or else we'll come destroy everything.
Weird to be in this time where I always grew up being so proud of being an American, and I still am. I still am proud of
the idea of America, yeah.
And the idea of America, what I thought America was, but then you find out we're kind of bullies, and we have
the ugly American. There's a term for that overseas. The ugly American traveling abroad.
Well, now I know why.
Yeah, because we kind of not we necessarily. I mean, to an extent, we've been complicit, but we've been ignorant in the truest sense of the word. We've been ignorant. We didn't know the truth, and now we're starting to see the truth, and it's like, man, we kind of started a lot of problems that really didn't need to be started, just because of political. Well, really, it was the elitists that took over the country and utilized the resources to take other resources. I mean, they used our energy to steal other people's energy, and and they lied to us and said it was for something else. And of course, we're like, well, yeah, we got to go after these terrorists. Well, technically, really weren't terrorists we were going after. And now you've got, you talked about it yesterday, Johnny talking about the Patriot Act and how it's not used against anybody except Americans. So
for sure. And
how'd that go?
I don't know. It's very bizarre. This, wait, is this the one? Yeah, 2 hours. You guys have to watch. I mean, this is something this weekend. If you can have this playing in the background, I don't know, turn it on 1.5 times, whatever you have to do. This Colonel Fletcher Prouty interview from 1994. I've listened to it probably 3 times. This is someone who is telling history of our country, and he was actually there. So he'll tell you there's stories that, China wasn't there at this one event. And he's like, but I flew them in myself. And he's like, so I know they were there.
I'm just letting you know. I helped get Hitler out in Project Paperclip and take him to South America. No, not this story, but that kind of stuff.
Different stories. Yeah. But it's really interesting. So I'll put the link in the description, but also in the chat. And I'll post it on my Patreon. I think I've already posted on my Patreon, but I'll post it again because I've listened to it 2 or 3 times, and I'm just amazed at what we know. Our media lies to us. Mm-hmm. And so then to hear from somebody, World War II veteran, what really happened? Did World War II ever end? How did it go down, and what has happened since then? It's pretty incredible.
I think that's the reason why we don't have a war in Ukraine. We've got a military operation in Ukraine to exterminate certain elements. Well, that's kind of my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think multiple things are happening there, to be honest. I think that there could be, I think I have to be careful because I've already been canceled.
I know.
So this week I had my Google AdSense account canceled. I was told by another influencer not to worry, that my YouTube account would still be able to collect funds. I don't make a lot on YouTube. I'm really dependent and really grateful for my friends on Patreon. That's really kind of what keeps the channel going, to be honest. And so that's where I answer and try to respond to all those people that really dig in and support me there. And there's this other weird trend that I'm noticing, and I'll go on to another story after this. But so we've been helping Cannon get ready for his birthday party. And
happy birthday to Cannon!
Happy birthday, Cannonball! You little miracle. And he comes out, and so he started, since he's older now, we let him play Fortnite. Now we let him play his video game in his room with his door has to be open. Mm-hmm. And, we and it's not on like public, but he has friends he can invite or something. Anyway, I think it's pretty safe from what we can tell, but it's still scary as a parent, having to engage online. But so we were listening, talking to him. So I'm asking him more about, because I'm letting him play in his room. I'm like, okay, before when he could only play out in front of me in the living room or wherever, like I felt like I didn't have to know so much about the game or what's going on. Now I hear him shouting these things about emote something, and I'm like, what is,
I want to hear.
Yeah, I gotta know what this is. I'm not a helicopter parent, but I am definitely the tough parent and the mom that I don't, I'm going to protect my kids.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he starts telling us about this stuff, and then we're having dinner last night. We're having more conversations about his game and, different games and how things happen and how things play and how it works, and just to make sure he's safe, as much as we can. And so we're asking all these questions, and he's like, well, the new, he talks about seasons of these games and stuff. And then he says the new, oh, dang it, I can't remember the guy's name. It's not Peter Parker. Some other dude is now Spider-Man. And we have this whole conversation about some other dude. Yes, no. Okay. And but he tells me, I said, so what you mean, like a guy is playing Spider-Man? He's playing Peter Parker, who's playing Spider-Man in the game.
Okay.
He's like, no, it's Billy Mutton, or I don't know, something weird. And he's like, and I said, okay, well, is he like the blue Spider-Man and then there's like the regular Spider-Man? Or how there was like that Venom guy? Like, is he the evil Spider-Man? And he's like, no, Mom, he's just Spider-Man. And I was like, no. I said, okay. I said, if somebody walked in here and said, hi, or
Wakanda.
As Big Square says, hi, I'm Litecoin Lisa.
Yeah,
and she wasn't me, you would say, no, you are not Lisa Davis. You're not Litecoin Lisa. So
you're Litecoin Cash Lisa.
Yes.
You're not Litecoin Lisa. You're a fork of the original Lisa.
Yeah, someone else cannot
be. Airdrop.
Spider-Man. Nobody other than Peter Parker can be Spider-Man.
All right, it's Peter Parker. He got spider experiment going bad and bit, and yeah.
And then he's like, well, I think he said it was the Spider-Man before him. And I said, that doesn't fly, because how did Spider-Man become Spider-Man? He goes, well, he's bit by a radioactive spider. I said, so no one could be Spider-Man before him.
That is the Spider-Man.
That's how he became Spider-Man. I was like, do you not even know the story? I was like, okay, none of this is making sense. So we're having these crazy discussions at dinner.
Existential discussions about Spider-Man.
In the metaverse. Yeah.
In the
metaverse. And how valuable. And he's like, look, it's very rare.
This is what we have to look forward to.
Yeah. These are the conversations we're having about how a skin is rare and an emote is only available during certain seasons, and it's cool and rare. And
so it's like an emotion, or it's like an attitude, or something?
A dance move, typically. It's a movement.
Okay.
Usually with sound, not always a song. An emote.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like Katie Couric in that moment where she's like, what is
with the little round A thing?
A and the at thing? Yeah. That's
what do you do with it, though? I mean, how do you email? What? What is it? What are you going to do with it?
www.
Right.
I don't know what that is. Anyway.
It wasn't that long ago. Look that up. It was like, what, 94 or 5 maybe?
Yeah.
I say it wasn't that long ago, but I was just watching Miss Teen Crypto, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of like before you existed. So
yeah, no, so I'm having these conversations. So then we go down that rabbit hole, and then he goes, Mom, just search it up. He's had enough of my questions.
I can't explain it to you.
Search it up. But
you gotta look it up. Yeah.
Search it up. What do you say when you tell somebody to go look for something?
Most people say Google it. I don't do that because I don't want to promote it, but I'm like, go search it. Get a search engine it. Whatever.
Kids don't put that much thought into it, or
search it up,
or a moral high ground into it, which means that there is a trend against or away from saying Google it,
which is good.
There's a trend in saying search it up.
I like that. I kind of like that. It's catchy.
Then I saw an article today about Apple, something else, like basically becoming a bank and like the stock going down and
yeah, it took a hit today for
becoming
some
the has-been.
reason. Yeah, I don't know why, but I think they're producing chips that are going to go into PCs now, or I should say, yeah, I guess personal computers. So I don't know. I don't know. The trends all change, and that's it. We have to adjust to it. And
it's really interesting to me.
That's why we're drawn to crypto, because, we see that things are changing. We don't get it all the time, but I mean, we do have the sense that things have to change, and, you kind of have to figure out the best path in this whole forest that's put in front of us.
It feels like a lot of the big corporations are being told to F off.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a movement. See,
I do think that.
If you think that it needs to happen now, No, but I think you're right. It's trending. And so when we look at it, we're like, okay, this is the truth. Get out there and tell people, they'll get it.
Yeah.
No, they don't. It takes, how long did it take all the old men sitting on park benches to get a smartphone? I mean, forever, it took years, and, they're still got maybe a flip phone if they even have one. And then once they get it, it's like, oh, boom. And then it accelerates and everybody has one. So you hit that watershed moment. And we think that way with digital money. We're like, okay, you don't get this? You seriously? We've been doing this for 5 years. I mean, which isn't that long. Mm-hmm. And then once people get it, though, it's going to be just like, the gates are open. When that moment comes, I don't know. Psychologists and, sociologists will tell you when it is. It'll probably be like 2030 or something. And I'm like, I don't want to wait 8 more years, but it is what it is.
Well, Johnny sent me this today, and it was about the, I pulled up the wrong picture. Where's the other picture? There's 2 pictures, and there's one that is the...
Right, duck it.
Oh, Lord.
Ricky. Just duck it.
It's about the Credit Card Competition Act of 2022. I guess this just went through.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who these guys are in this interview.
Duck it up.
I should know probably, and I apologize. But Johnny says, what if Lightning Network becomes the unaffiliated network? Lightning was created to send US dollars secured by Bitcoin as the base layer. A decentralized network like that could rock a lot of boats and also significantly weaken the card brand rules. And this is our in-house payments processing expert making these statements.
I think that's what's going to happen, but okay, go ahead, and then I'll.
Yeah. So hold on, let me share the thing about the credit card. So there's a big thing about the machines going out, the Dick Durbin machines.
Dick Durbin.
Is that the right thing?
Dickie Durbin, our senator from Illinois.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and then the other one.
That's who I was bringing up.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the Credit Card Competition Act of 2022? And what could it mean if your rewards, if passed? Okay. So forget the rewards. They're trying to, but your rewards.
I know. You don't want to give your rewards up, so you're going to get goodies over here if you step on this. Yeah. Anyway, what is it?
Okay. It is Dick Durbin. Yep, Illinois. And Roger Marshall of Kansas introduced the Credit Card Competition Act of 2022 after 2 months of inactivity, and then was introduced as a proposed amendment of the NDAA in October, which we know
is usually not a good thing.
Well, it was pretty epic last year.
No, I know. But the thing is, I'm biased because anything Dick Durbin sponsors, I'm just naturally against, just because I know who he is.
He may be
but anyway,
position.
He might not be Dick Durbin anymore. I don't know.
He might not be. Okay, so it says, as its name implies, a proposed legislation aims to inject more competition into the credit card industry in hopes of lowering the fees that merchants pay. Whenever the shoppers swipe their card, which right now the merchants can transfer those fees to the shoppers. So I don't know if that's a real issue. If enacted, the law would amend the Electronic Fund Transfer Act by directing the Federal Reserve to require credit card issuing banks to offer a minimum of 2 networks, which this is Cliff High stuff, for merchants processing electric card transactions, according to a bill summary provided by the Congressional Research Service. It even specifically prohibits these two networks from being those with the largest market share of cards today, Visa and MasterCard.
Okay, so it can't be those.
It cannot be two of the largest.
Right. It could be something different.
Okay. So process. Okay, these two companies process 3.5, blah, 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 collecting more than 77 billion merchants. Yeah, I couldn't care less. Okay. Interchange or swipe fees are primary revenue driver. This is what I keep telling people. I did, as we're learning and growing and whatever, I'm learning. They don't care how much gold is worth. They don't care how much silver is worth. They don't care how much the dollar is worth, because the banksters make money on the fees.
That's it. The transaction.
They are the middleman.
Basically, the exchange.
The exchange, the swap. Yes. They are. Yeah. If you watch, there's a thing on Go Eat the Rich where they show how the Robinhood people just were bringing on newbies and made them think they were making trades. They made them the product. They turned all of what were supposed to be their clients into a product that they then sold to Citadel.
Yeah.
Those fucking bastards. Anyway.
Dropping F-bombs this week.
Oh, I'm so mad. The more you learn about this, the more
I know
the American, they are all supposed to work for us. All the theys are supposed to be working for us. And instead, they're making us the product. And
social media, you're the product.
Hundreds of billions. This one dude lives in a $200 million apartment that's just one of his.
But you see how they do that? It's not about taking all your wealth. It's not about taking all of Donald Trump's wealth. It's about
the fees.
Taking a little bit of everything, just a little slice of every transaction. Okay, Chicago, they've got, the Chicago Board of Trade, Mercantile Exchange, all that up there. Outside of Chicago, they put up these high-speed, I don't even know what you call them. Basically, it allows certain people who have access to that network to front run all trades. So all the stuff that goes, and they don't care, because if I can get 1/1,000,000th of every trade that goes through and front run that, then they make money. See, it's all about the volume. That's what they're all after. And that's why they like the velocity of money. That's why they want it flowing.
That's what it gives Citadel all that volume.
They can take a little bit. Absolutely. And they're good with that. And then, you know what? Then we have good little slaves that don't revolt, because, we're not going and taking their farms and their homes and estates. We're actually fleecing everybody just a little bit all the time. And then they get to live in wherever they want, 5 houses, mansions across the world.
Until you're 70 and you're
like, what the F?
Stories
I got robbed.
How your grandparents live. And you know what else we can do to make sure they don't figure it out? We can destroy the nuclear family, and we can send grandparents off to live in old folks' homes.
So they don't get to talk to you and relay the history that they've built up, the oral tradition that Native American tribes and Native tribes, indigenous tribes passed along. And that's why they had such strong bonds.
The wisdom of, you used to be able to save up and buy a car and have it paid off. We used to be able to buy a down payment on a house and get it. It used to be, the reason that there were mortgage notes for 10 and 15 years is because you could pay a house off in 10 and 15 years.
Now it's 30 minimum. I just looked today, and I was watching one of the financial shows. The 30-year mortgage rate right now is like 7.16. And I looked at the local credit union just to verify, and it was 6.875. 6.875. You're up like 3 points or more since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars a month that you're just giving to bankers.
No, it's heartbreaking to me. Like,
nothing.
We took Cannon. We wanted to go see his big brother in Tulsa on his actual birthday. So we drove. He's 25. He's almost 26 years old, and he and his wife were talking about having a baby, and they were looking at houses, and they're like, "My God, Mom, the interest rate's over 7 and something %."
Factor that in.
Yeah, and they're like, "There's no way." That's crazy to do that right now. So they're going to rent a house, which I think is really smart. And I said, but save, because this housing market is going to crash.
It's got to crash.
Are going to be at an opportunity where you could either put a large down payment down on,
or
even
you
if
can
it's
buy it
a small
outright.
house,
See, the thing
or
is,
maybe buy it outright.
yes, what you've seen happen in crypto can very easily happen to the housing market.
Yeah.
You know, where it goes 90% down, and people don't realize that. I mean, it can happen. And the thing is, that house is still the same thing, just like that Litecoin's still the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the asset. It's just that valued in the dollars, it's gonna go a different direction. And I just, don't be in a hurry to buy a house. And you know what I've been preaching kind of lately is just you got to survive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you just got to survive the storm, because that's what you're in. A financial storm, a financial hurricane. You just got to survive. Hold on to your assets and try and use that dirty fiat money. I know it's harder and harder, and it goes less and less and for not as far, but use that, save it in something that's going to hold value for the other side.
Right.
When it collapses. You know, that's gold, that's silver. Why do you think they're suppressing all this stuff and making it so unattractive right now? Because they want it. They know what their system is. They know that those are going to be like financial, you know, machine guns and flamethrowers in the future when we transition out of it, because the dollar is junk. It's toast. I mean, you look at all these other foreign currencies dying, they die first, and then the dollar dies last. I mean, that's what happens. Didn't Jim Willie, you had him on the show before? I think that's what he said.
I need to, he texted me the other night, and I need to have him back on again. He's not as positive right now as what he was before, but I think it's because we're so close right now.
Because you're in it. You're like almost in it. And so
are right there, you know.
We've all seen it coming. And this is what I guess this is my message. We've all seen this coming. Mm-hmm. We know that it's coming. All of us in the crypto space, all of us in the freedom space, you know, sound money space, we've all known this was coming. And now that it's here, you know, looking at it from far away, it's like, oh, when that happens, yes, it's finally crash all that stuff. And we know our assets are going to be, but when you're in it, it's like, okay, I'm going through another month of this and another month of this and another month of this. And it might take a year, 6 months, whatever it is, but it's grueling for that 6 month period to get through it, because you're like day by day going through it. But when you look back through the lens of history, just like if you're talking to your grandparents about the Great Depression, mm-hmm. they're looking at it as, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was really tough times and this and that. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, well, it was this period of time. And you don't realize how difficult it was every day that you had to go through it. But when you look back at it, you look, oh, well, you know, we could have I can get through that. I mean, you know, because, but you know, when you're, yeah, but when you're going through it, you're like, where's the end?
Yeah,
when does this stop?
Everybody's in it, and we're all in it together. And there are good things coming out of it. I mean, I keep hearing from friends more and more this desire to get back to the earth, whether that's tying a wire around your toe and walking around. I mean,
just walk around with bare feet. Mitch likes to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's get grounded. There's something to that. I mean, we ground our energy in our homes, right?
Yeah.
All our energy in our home is grounded. Why aren't we grounded? We're all energy. I mean, you think about the simple things that we just kind of overlook every day.
Well, and spend some time outside. We were talking on, I think it was World Blockchain Roundtable. I don't know. This is kind of a strange subject to be talking about, World Blockchain Roundtable. I may have brought it up. I don't care. I can get weird in any.
It's an interdisciplinary approach, Lisa.
Yes.
Bringing everything together.
Yeah, but I was telling him about how I was doing some study, you know, over the years about different things with, you know, when I was doing all my foster care research and preparing and trying to help kids that came in and out of my homes and stuff. One of the things they talked about and we researched was depression, and how like your brain is trying to protect the host. And it will do anything to keep the host alive to protect the brain. And so if you find yourself struggling, and, you know, we're going into these winter months and it's going to be cold and there might be some darkness and all that kind of stuff. One of the best things we can do is the minute you wake up, just roll over and put your feet down on the ground. Because if you think about it, it's something like 3 seconds. If you wait more than 3 seconds, your brain will talk you out of getting out of bed, or getting off the couch, or not
taking that cold shower.
Don't get up, because if you get up, you might trip and fall and hurt the host.
Yeah.
And
don't do anything that damages, the vessel, the avatar.
The brain, and especially if you're or going down any kind of darkness or depression thing. Like after Mia died, I had to really like pull myself out of. I like just got on the couch. And at first there was a crisis and I couldn't get on the couch. And that was, I think Charlie was here. And I had to go meet with attorneys and police and all that kind of stuff because we had that embezzlement from my assistant and all that stuff. And that turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I probably wouldn't have got off the couch. But then there was a time where I couldn't get off the couch. And I think we've all been there in our life, but you have to fight that brain that wants to like not. And one of the best things you can do is just like, don't even let it have a conversation. Just get up, get on your feet, go outside, let the sunshine hit your face. Even if it's a little cloudy day, just go walk to the mailbox and back. It will change your outlook. Get outside, break the.
But see, what did they do for 2 years? Don't go outside.
Yeah,
don't be around people.
Outside, don't talk to people.
Stay out of the sun that can heal you. I mean, don't participate in that stuff. Stay locked in your homes. Be in fear, be in darkness. That's where they want you, cowering in the corner. And it's just like, no, I'm a human being. I'm part of this planet, part of this world. I came here for a reason. I need to be a part of it. And so go out there in your bare feet and feel the grass. And I mean, all you got to do, like you said, go out there for 1 minute and just feel it. And then you're like, I don't even want to go in now. I'm just like, oh.
Do a little running trick, even if it's cold outside. Go run outside really quick in the cold and come back in. You'll feel more refreshed and awake and alive and reconnected.
I'd probably stay out there though because
your body and well, you would love it because you're a heater. Yeah,
I know. I'm like a furnace,
a human furnace,
walking furnace. I know. Yeah. My wife last night, she says, "Do we have the heat on?" I'm like, "Yeah." She says, "It's 65 in here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I got it on 65. It'll kick on at some point."
She's freezing. You're burning.
I know. I'm just like, it's good. And I got my shorts on. Sure.
Yeah. No, Cannon's all excited because we turned the heater on the pool for his party. It'll be 85, in like in mid 80s all this week, And he's like, "Okay, well, we turned the pool heater on and got it going for his birthday party." And yes, we have birthday parties and pool parties in Oklahoma in the middle of October. I know it's weird, but it's awesome. It's a great place. But and Westwood might have snow next week or something.
It could happen. We're definitely going to have a freezing. I mean, I think the low was 26 one of the days they forecast.
Oh God.
Which.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do that.
Ain't nothing.
Yeah, but he was super excited about that. So we're gonna have a pool party here. But anyway, back to current events. Yeah, you want to go all the way back to Tuesday? Tulsi Gabbard, you guys want to complain?
Oh, we can talk about Tulsi.
You want to fight about it?
We'll fight about Tulsi. I did a little research on Tulsi, and I'm a little torn on her.
I was at the beginning.
She's that chameleon type, and she's got a lot of similarities. The first person I thought of was she's like a female Obama. I mean, very sly, very well-spoken, very kind of hard to pin down and not know really what, right. Just kind of just goes with the waves and knows how to talk and
beautiful.
Present. Right. It's got that look. She's actually Hindu.
She's military. Hindu. So how could you disrespect
exactly.
her?
And then you look at some of her statements that I've read, and how she's like
for abortion. She's a WEFer.
I know. And then there's other things though that I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I kind of resonate with that. But she was in her last position in the military she's a lieutenant colonel. I mean, she rose up the ranks pretty high. I mean, to be a lieutenant colonel, that's pretty good. So
that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
Seen the guy that
somebody promoted her.
What's a guy
to that level?
Millie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not so impressed.
I know, right? But her last assignment was, I think she was out of the North Carolina, Fort Bragg. She was a detachment, or I guess affiliated with. She was in the reserves in California, which was tied into, or I don't know how it works in the military, but you're tied into, or you're part of this group. It's like an extension, and it was the Psychological Operations Group out of North Carolina with the 8th Division of the Army Airborne or something. I mean, it's a PSYOP division is what it is. And so you think, okay, makes sense because she's like that Manchurian Candidate to me. And I mean, I'm just telling it like I feel. I mean, it's just, she's just got that, very well polished, knows how to lull you type of speech. And I look at it as, okay, what more of a perfect candidate to put up there when everybody has no faith in even the Republican Party or the Democratic Party? Hey, you know what? Here's someone who is new blood that we can resonate with.
I'm Barney the dinosaur.
Yes, and she supported Bernie Sanders for president. I mean, there's a lot of things, and it's just like she's still, until she starts talking about sound money and allowing, changing the current system, the fiat system, which I have not seen her do, until she starts talking about those things like Ron Paul did and upsetting the apple cart and saying, you know what, we need to restore sovereignty to the people through money. Until she does that, she's just another hack to me. And that's just my opinion. That's how I judge people at this point.
That's why I had gone to a fundraiser event and been invited to an event to hear somebody speak here. And I was really liking what they were saying, listened to him. Then I went to talk to him privately. I'm like, so you're in the banking industry and you're telling me you're all about the Constitution. So where are you on constitutional money?
Right. That's to me, that's the Mendoza line. That's the Rubicon.
And you're telling me you're all about the Constitution. Like, you got to have an opinion about that for me.
You should.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just feeding the establishment. You're feeding the current system, which is broken. And when you get to a point where I'm at, where a lot of us are, it's all about the money. And unrestricted money creates unrestricted problems, unrestricted evil, unrestricted just vampirism, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it comes down to sound money. And unless you allow people to, again, okay, wax philosophical here a little bit. We're spiritual beings. Yeah. All of our spirits are energy. All right. We're using this body, this avatar to create energy and put that energy into things, whether it be, hugs, whether it be, work and whatever it is. It goes into money. Money is just a store of your energy. And when you have a bad store of energy, a leaky battery, like the Federal Reserve note, they're stealing your spirit. They're stealing, what you have brought to this planet. And abusing it. And that's what they've been doing until you have something that accurately stores that doesn't go away. You can't devalue one Litecoin. You can't devalue 1 ounce of silver. You cannot devalue 1 ounce of gold. It is what it is. It's money outside the system. And so you're putting your energy into that, and no one can really steal that from you unless you give it to them. And so when you're putting it into a Federal Reserve note, though, because it's not a dollar, all you got to do is look at it, says it right on it. They create more and more and more of them. And it's like, wait a minute, you're devaluing everything that I put into that. And at some point you wake up and say, enough is enough. And those people who do not see that are not awake enough to lead. And that's what I look at.
I would even go a step further and say, and we're putting that into any individual. I'm not trying to attack Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not attacking.
Not at all.
I'm saying we need to be put, like you say, trust ourselves. Like, okay, for years, I was like, oh, anti-XRP. I still am not like a huge fan. I got to tell you.
I don't resonate with it.
Bankster system, which we're trying to get away from, all that. But I also understand where a tool may be used.
A lot of weapons on the battlefield.
There's a lot of weapons on the battlefield. And
you might want the Gatling gun, but you know what? There might be a pistol.
If I know who's
get what you can get.
Yeah, if I know who's picking up the gun, then sometimes the gun is the right tool to use. And so if Tulsi Gabbard is being used in the right way, it's more about like trusting ourselves and protecting ourselves and us to being.
She's not going to save you.
No, none of these people or these things. No. None of these people or these things will save. David Thoreau said, we don't own things own us.
Yeah.
And it is the same with all of this.
We don't ride on the rails ride upon us. Something like that. The train rides on us.
None of these things, like, I think that's where we get a little lax with, I bought some gold and silver. Now I'm going to be over here. I don't have to get involved. I don't have to know what's going on in the world. Yeah, you do.
But you got to use your energy to be active, to spark that light in the world.
I'm going to vote for Trump. Anything he says or does, I'm going to be safe. No, you're not. I'm going to vote for Tulsi. I'm going to vote for this. Like, we all have to be active. We all have to take personal responsibility for every single choice. That is the only way that we can ensure safety, and we can, if not, like, what's the point in us being here?
Right. If we're not going to feed this system or that system or that cult or that cult.
Yes. We need to be critically thinking, making choices in our life. What an exciting time. The greatest video game ever. Forget Fortnite. You get to choose every day. And sometimes it's scary and sometimes it's exciting. And there are things you have to do. And sometimes you got to call your buddies and go, hey, man, how do I cover my ass in this? How do I protect my family? Like, I want to go on this journey. Like, how do I prepare for this? But we can all make those choices and do those things. I don't want to be that person sitting on the couch having my brain tell them, protect the host, let someone else think for you,
Right. So, yeah, then you're in this WALL-E world, where you're just in the wheelchair and floating around and protect the No, you got to get in the game. Like Teddy Roosevelt said, you got to get in the arena. Get out there and do something, and just it doesn't. You don't have to go out there and it's just like think that, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to take the first step because I might be ridiculed. I'm never going to be this person. I'm never going to be that great. It doesn't matter. It's the little things that add up. It's just like they take every little piece of every transaction. It's all the little transactions that add up that we do. Doesn't matter what it is. As long as we're doing the right thing and getting out there and doing the right thing. The butterfly effect, it affects everything. You have no idea what one little spark does, and you got to do it. And that's what we're here for. And like when you relate it to a video game, it's exactly what we're in. We're controlling this body, this avatar, this thing that we've been given. And we wish we could just go, with our spiritual powers that we have, but we're locked in this thing. And it gets frustrating sometimes that you can't do it. But it's like, okay, we're here. I got this vessel. I got to use it in the best way that I possibly can to spark somebody else, to wake somebody else up, wake somebody else up, wake somebody else up. And pretty soon you got V for Vendetta, to where it's like, nope, we're done. And it's a bloodless revolution. It's over. It's done. It all falls because we don't give it power anymore. We're done. And we're going this way.
I did a terrible job. Sometimes you're going to screw up.
We all do.
I did a terrible job of the mighty layer. And so I'm going to have a huge bonus for everybody today. If you go right now, I'm going to walk everybody through it. Hold on. How do I do this? Am I sharing? Okay. I'm sharing this.
Hi, Julius. Glad you're here.
Yeah. Go to any browser and type densocial.com. And you log in. Oh, I'm already logged in. You click log in and it will, or start an account. And to start an account, you just need any email and you create a password. You could create an email through Gmail or Proton or any other specifically for Den that you just use for this and you use for nothing else. They're fine. They don't care. This is, you decide. Then you're going to go to Discover Layers. And over here on this side, so here's like my little profile, layers, and it takes you to all the layers. And I know I have a Southern accent, so it's layers, Layers, layers of a cave.
Dragon's lair.
It's dragon's layers, like a cave that a dragon lives in. So I try to make sure I explain that because my accent.
Den. I thought it was Den Social, but it's Den Social. Den Social.
Den Social.
Den Social. It's Den. Like a lion's den.
Okay. Well, whatever.
I'm here to help.
Didn't realize I said it different. Okay.
I'm here
Notice that I am an owner of Coffee with Den Conspiracy Theories. craft beer.
What are they chewing on, rocks?
DIY, which I think that's one's Polly's. I've got to send that one to Polly. Firearms Lair, that one I own, or part of it. I'm a part owner. So you can be a part owner of some of these. Mighty, here's the Mighty Lair.
I want a dragon egg. That's what I want.
Are you watching that series?
No. What?
What do you mean, what?
I'm serious. I'm just saying I want a dragon's egg, and that's all I'm saying. What series?
Game of Thrones, Dragon Eggs.
Oh,
You're not watching it?
no.
Okay. Oh, look at Clint Westwood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Boom. Okay.
Boom.
Huge energy given to Clint Westwood for
breathe some fire on that.
Breathe some fire on that. So energy, you're going to get like over 1,000 energy for that.
I'm feeling it.
1,500 energy to you, my friend.
I'm pumped.
Yes. Because that is like huge. You help me not drop the ball. So then you can go here and share from here and share this post to, like I can share, which I don't know if you guys can still see this. Oh no, that's not it. Discard.
What are the dogs chewing on? That's what I'm wondering. Is it a rock?
That's what I'm wondering.
A walnut?
Dogs are chewing on.
Oh. Give me that. That's a piece of glass. They have hearts of glass. It's dragon's glass.
There you go.
Seriously, look at it. Dragon glass. Wow.
Westwood's post on at Real.
Mitch is like, what do you want from me? Yeah, right. One dog goes this way, one goes dog. What was it? What do you want?
And become a owner of the Mighty Lair.
The Lion's Den. Yeah, funny, Daddy-O. You know what? This guy, I wish Daddy-O lived near me. He's a funny guy.
He's pretty great.
He's a funny guy. He knows how to start a fire.
A lot of for everybody. There was a song that I thought of, which we can't sing it on YouTube, but I thought
you could probably sing it, but if I sing it, we'll get banned because I'm so close. Oh.
So no,
blue.
You know that no, that song "I'm a Bad Liar." How funny would it be?
Is that me?
To do that as a Al Yankovic thing. I need a
Weird Al.
Weird Al.
What? It did not.
I'm so close, and the video stopped.
Does everybody else hit the thumbs up or do a 1 in the chat? Is the video back?
Like yeah.
Oh, there's a glitch in the video once I started singing.
That word you said, and then fucking weird.
Way to go, Westwood.
I know. I better shut up.
Okay.
I'm out.
So, oh look, then it made you have 17 energy.
There you are. I'm tapped into something.
Okay, so if you guys make a reply right now. Oh, look. Distant made a reply already. I don't know what she's thinking. Billy, she's thinking. Oh, he said.
You're the ass man.
I thought he was talking about me.
No,
okay.
Multiple streams. Sorry.
Stop talking to Mitch.
All right.
Okay. So I'm going to tip you your, let's see.
Why can't everybody live near me, live near Westwood or on Westwood, have cabins and stuff, have property near here. We can build a sanctuary, put the lighthouse up.
It's way too cold there in the winter.
We'd have happy hour here live all the time though.
Yeah. 5 for you for saving my butt today. And then
that's what I'm here for.
1 for Dave, for Distant, for posting a comment. 1 lot. So the lot give you ownership in the lair, which
it's a lair ownership token, right?
Yes. And then we can go to governance in the lair. This is the cool part. Let's see. Mighty.
It's a dragon.
Where did I go? LMNOP. There I am.
I always want to slip into a Sean Connery voice, when you talk about dragons and stuff. The dragon. Yeah, dragon. Sorry.
Okay. And I think they told me it was easier to do this on my phone to fix the, like the.
Too short.
What's it called? Our settings. Go to our settings. Avatar.
Yes, we need a southeastwood, Daddy-O.
Hey.
We're going to have a southwood. Blind Dave's working on that. We need a southeastwood.
Layer. And then I can go into layer. Mighty layer. Settings. Profile. So this is where we can go in and we can change all these settings. User moderation. We can do tags. We can do reputation where we can change who can do what. We can make mods. We can make where you can do anonymous stuff. But let's go into profile. We can change our avatar, which we did do an avatar change.
Oh, I need to do that. See, I need to get up to speed on all this.
Okay, so this is where you vote for things on. So it has to be a vote. So now all these people that have ownership of the layer, all the people, I'll show you all the people. So it says, and they voted for the Mighty logo, but vote to, okay. Change.
Vote for, let's see, let's vote for Lisa's next drink. What's she going to drink?
Mighty layer or post or add Mighty. Add.
Root beer shots.
So then it will automatically do this once it gets voted in. This is what's so cool about this. So it's all on chain. So nobody can argue and say, oh, somebody did that. No, it automatically does it. Add profile.
So in a few weeks, we need something like this to where if we have a vote.
Yeah, we had a vote already, but it was only me and Dave voting because nobody else was.
Because y'all were in your cave and you didn't come out and vote.
Well,
there's a learning curve, though. I mean, maybe we should have like a,
and we
just
can
a session.
We can vote to change it again, or somebody can. So we can go in governance, and people can vote again.
Yeah,
so,
it's like, hey, I don't like Tulsi. Vote her out. We voted her in. Thought she was going to do this. It didn't happen. Bye.
This is successfully created GI or governance issue. So now we go to governance. Oh wait,
vote with Litecoin.
Oh darn it! It's with my settings. I keep forgetting it's down here.
Like I said, there's a learning curve.
There is a learning curve.
Profile. It's like anything else new.
Oh, Dave, where are you when I need you? Okay.
We got 8.2% inflation. That's it.
Oh, no. It's in layers, and then you go to governance in layers. So now I just created a governance issue. So then you go to the layers, and you should be able.
I got an issue with you people.
See?
I'm watching. I love it. I like that logo. I have a shirt with that logo. Should wear it.
Oh, the reason that it approved is because I have more than 50%.
Because you got the power.
For right now.
Right. But as more people start participating,
as
more
ownership,
energy, get more clout,
then I won't be able to make decisions.
Right.
And people will have to vote. And if it doesn't settle out in a week, then what happens is it lets it go for 7 days. And if the vote is not decided within 7 days, it settles to the majority.
Gotcha.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we need to have new governance systems because the current governance system does not work properly.
Right. But we had done a vote on this previously. I wonder if it would show our previous governance voting. Yeah. Miscellaneous proposal. See, resolved, voted. We need to choose a profile pic. And
y'all need to vote where Litecoin Lisa and Clint Westwood are going to go for the next happy hour meetup.
Not Vegas.
Not Vegas. Speaking of Vegas,
Johnny will be there.
Johnny will be there.
Vix won't be there. Ben won't be there. I won't be there. You won't be there.
No.
Mame will be there. She messaged
Mame
me.
will be there. I like Mame.
Yeah.
She's
pretty awesome.
Nice. She
I
is
love
nice.
her.
I remember from the first Litecoin summit, she's standing up asking questions, had her cool hat on and her accent. And
oh my gosh,
I was
she's
just like,
so
who
smart.
is that?
And she's really just taken off. She's
I know.
looking for Bybit.
Is she?
Yeah, and she just got a promotion. They're like an international company.
But she's a grinder. She gets stuff done.
I'm going to be doing
an
interview with her, bring her back on. We used to do a show every Monday and do like crypto news and all that. So she's going to come back on and tell me what she's been doing. But this shows the on-chain vote where we did before vote, and the vote was for the Mighty logo. And then that's where, but you can do it different ways. So it's pretty cool. But if you guys go right now and make comments on there, I will refresh and I will give you guys a lot while we're live on the show.
Get in there so she can drop you a lot.
Drop you a lot.
Drop you a lot. I love you a lot time. Coming to Puerto Rico, says Mark Weems. Is Mark in Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico. I have another friend in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, Puerto Rico.
I have a couple of friends in Puerto Rico.
A territory, but not a state.
I think that's where Jim Willie is too, isn't it?
I think it's Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
I think that's where he's at. I think they were on a dollar standard, Costa Rica. They may still be. I don't know. I'm sure those days are going to end at some point.
Yeah.
Going to be on the Litecoin standard.
That's pretty exciting, though. The whole thing that Johnny shared today.
It is. And getting back to that, what would that system be? Is he thinking it's going to be the Lightning Network?
He's thinking the Lightning Network.
I think so, too, because so many of these, and here's my opinion of it. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, because they all know that they have to get into crypto and they all know they have to be transparent. The Lightning Network is not an on-chain thing. It's a second layer thing. And guess what? When you run nodes, you get transaction fees. I mean, you get a little cut of all the fees.
Right, but the people get the fee.
Whoever's running the node.
Right.
And so you have opportunity to do it. I guarantee
can.
Amazon's going to be running a node, Walmart, all these big players are going to be running nodes, but you're going to be able to participate in that network too. And I mean, if it goes that way, it goes that way. Here's the thing. You still, at the base layer, it's going to operate on Bitcoin, Litecoin, those coins that run the Lightning Network. So you've got to ramp onto it with those coins. I mean, what's the quickest, easiest, cheapest way to do it? Litecoin is that on-ramp. I mean, I've had these dreams, this silver rails, that Litecoin is this big payment network. And I don't know. That's why I just resonate with it. People ask me, well, why don't you talk about Monero? Why don't you talk about Dash? Why don't you talk about Bitcoin Cash? And it's like, I don't resonate with it. I'm not against any of those things at all. It's just that I can't help myself. Maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. Litecoin to me is just that perfect, transfer of energy and, store of energy. Might not reflect it in dollar terms, but the thing is, we're not in crypto because of we are in it because of the dollar, but we're not in it to make dollars. We're in it to exit that system. It's that escape valve. It's an escape hatch to where, that's what the whole movement was about to begin with. That's what Bitcoin was all about. And now everybody's like, win ETF, win Moon, win pump price, win government regulation. And it's like,
oh God,
who cares?
It's making me crazy with all the.
Who cares what they say?
Yes.
We don't have to do any of that stuff. We've already got the perfect system built in, and now we've got Mimblewimble, and it's like we've got digital cash.
Them for permission. It defiles.
Right. You can use it right now.
Asking your ex-husband if you can marry your new husband.
Right.
I don't
Is that
understand.
okay with you? Are you sure I can do that?
Like, what are
Really?
you doing? I don't get
Really?
it. Yeah.
No, and that's the beauty of it that I don't think we realize. A lot of people don't realize. I mean, we realize that that's why we're frustrated so much.
Yeah.
And it's just that the tools are in place. You've got the weapons to win. And you either want to win or you don't want to win. And, nobody said it was going to be easy. And it goes back to, it's coming. It's here. I mean, what did you expect? Did you think they were just going to roll over and die and say, oh, okay, you guys win. Okay, I guess we're, all crypto and, have crypto in your possession. And, that's what wins. No, they've got too much invested in the old system. Look at Dick Allgaier. He still thinks that the old system is, plans have been made, generations, they made their, sign the book in blood and everything, you can't control it. And it's like, man, I'm
not willing to give up.
I refuse to do that, because, I know I'm a spiritual being and I know I'm here for a mission. And it's just, no, I'm not going to let these vampires win again. They're going to have to fight and they're going to fight and they're going to fight. And then the more people, as you bring it to light, are going to see, and then it all goes away. I mean, we can't let these fiends, these creeps, as Johnny would say, these creeps. Johnny says these creeps and people, when Johnny says creeps. I like Johnny because he's like Nixon. He talks in third person. Well, Nixon wouldn't do this, It's just kind of funny, you've got these people that are at a different level of thinking, and I don't know, we're all here for a reason. That's why we found each other. And that's why Litecoin Lisa decided, for my anniversary, what do I want to do? I want to be around these like-minded people, these light beings. And that's what you did. You came.
And we had a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
It was really wonderful. We had, 10-hour drive up there together and 10-hour drive back. And we got to spend a romantic weekend at in this darling little Airbnb there on the square. And
you just walk down there and go to the pub and hang out.
Yeah, amazing burgers at Hanover's. Got to go out to Westwoods. Mitchie made amazing.
Killed it, spritzed
it in the barbecue
meat,
so
much.
Clash Daddy was eating the bones.
Yeah.
Go watch.
Man's got to know his limitations.
St. Jerome's video. He did a great video wrap.
He did. I love that he documented everything and threw everybody's name out there and explained everything. I mean, he truly is documenting crypto experiences.
Yeah.
St. Jerome. Go check out his channel. I mean, really, you need to.
Yeah. It's been good. So
the Prius limo.
Pretty great week altogether. Good stuff.
Kind of having withdrawals, and I usually don't like being around people. I never have. That's why I am where I am. But when you people come around, I kind of miss y'all when you leave. Yeah. Just saying.
Can you folks talk about Litecoin versus Bitcoin Cash? I'm not that familiar with Bitcoin Cash as peer-to-peer digital cash.
Okay, I'll talk to you about my experience with it. I have nothing against Bitcoin Cash. I don't. The problem I have is it's still slow to transact. Anytime I want to move it around, it's not like Litecoin. It seems like, with Bitcoin, I always have problems. It takes forever because the blocks, it takes 10 minutes per block. Litecoin's 2.5 minutes per block. It's not as liquid. I don't see it on, like if you go to a CoinMe, if you go to certain ATMs, Bitcoin Cash isn't there. I like the liquidity of Litecoin. It has kind of the full package to where you can go buy it, you can go sell it, you can use it anywhere, and it's on, not that PayPal's a great thing, but, Bitcoin Cash is on there, but it's just, Litecoin always works. 11 years running nonstop, 100% uptime. And it's just, to me, it just works, and I've never had a problem with it. So, I'm not against Bitcoin Cash at all. There's 21 million of them, so it's a scarce supply. It's just another form of money to me. You've got quarters, you got nickels, you got dimes, you got, different denominations of money that you could use. And I look at all of them that way. Ethereum, I'm not a big fan of because it's a whole different animal. It's just a different thing. But Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Digibyte, even Dogecoin. It's got an unlimited supply. It's not something I'd hold for generational wealth because,
well, they're talking about now with the whole Elon Twitter thing that he could make that the coin of Twitter.
I mean, and that's another thing. Like, I mean, when that comes out, he's talking about the all-purpose app, that does everything, the holy grail. When you have Twitter, you've got this big platform, and we've sent stuff back and forth through Twitter. But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, having a platform like that already in place where you can send value, yeah, it's centralized. I mean, it is, but you're using a decentralized coin to send value in another way. It's almost like, I don't even know I like to talk in analogies, but you've got this weapon and it's like, okay, I'm using this weapon, but you know what? It's more effective if I throw it up there to the guy in the tower. Twitter's that tower. It's like, hey, Mitch, he's in the Twitter tower. Take this weapon, and now you can shoot it farther. And that's kind of what Twitter could be if Elon does that. But again, he's one of those amorphous characters that I'm just not 100% sure of. I put him in the class with Tulsi. I mean, there's these, and even Trump to a certain extent.
Weapons that could be used for good or evil.
Absolutely.
They can both be put in that class. So my last interview with Jim Willie was pretty epic. I posted on my Patreon, and he talked about Veritasium. He talked about the system that is already set up, and that kind of the banksters, it's like they asked to have this system put up, and then they asked all these things, and we're like, yeah, we want to be in control of it. We want to be in control of our money. They used all these terms, and the people that set up were like, yeah. And they keep using these terms about a bridge and a Trojan horse and all this kind of stuff. And it's really interesting because I'm starting to see some of that language now in different news stories and articles and whatever. And he made a comment about, and I'd have to go back and rewatch it. It's been a while. I need to have him back on again, but that it's like it's going to happen and it's going to come to the gate for them, and they're going to open it and going to be like, well, wait a minute, you said that we'd be in control of our money. And they're going to be like, yeah, you are, of yours, but we can see it all. It's kind of like going to be like the jig is up, the game's exposed, and this is exactly what you asked for, and it's too late. And they walk themselves right into a trap is what I think that. And that's what I hope happens. So
no, and I think so. And I mean, they want to desperately continue to hang on to the control structure of their money. And they know that there's no stopping crypto. They know that. So,
but they also are the market makers and know the market makers. And like Gensler had that video where he's like, they have plans 15 years out of how to slow down the markets and to stop other people.
And they've slowed it down. They have. Yeah. I mean, if you look at 2017,
that our economy is like it is right now.
It is. They need to kind of grind it so that they can control it, because if you're not free, and if you've got cheap gas, if you've got cheap, think about 3 years ago, how easy it was. You can get anything you want. I mean, it didn't matter. Everything was readily available. Walmart built its business on a supply chain that, was just in time. Their computers would order stuff, boom, truck would show up. Now it's like, I don't know, we can't really get that. I'm waiting on parts for Digibugs, and it's just like, okay, things have changed. And the only way if you throttle people down, if you don't give them access to the things that are readily available, and you create artificial scarcity, that's how you control people. Just like in Europe. I mean, there's plenty of energy around the world. I talked about it today in a video. It's like a lightning bolt. Look at how much energy there is. Why are we not tapping that? Why are we not using Tesla technology? Why are we not taking the free energy out of the atmosphere that's already there? No.
Even little Greta Thunberg is like, don't shut down the nuclear plants.
Yeah, because Europe's going to freeze to death. And, this is the funny thing. Germany, of all places, is like the biggest green energy. And you would think that they'd be self-sufficient with green energy by now, right? No, they're going to freeze to death. because, pipelines have burst, and, another one was trying to blow, they tried to blow in a Turkish pipeline up. The Russians stopped it. There's sabotage going on because they want to starve Europe. They want to freeze Europe out. If green energy is so productive and so sustaining to humanity, why do you need natural gas? Why do you care about these pipelines? You got to ask yourself that. This is a country, Germany, that has put so much investment into alternative energy, and it's not enough. They're worried about freezing to death this winter.
But this earth renews itself over.
It does. It's just we're putting resources in the wrong things.
If you go and look at, and you can go look at, I think you're going to start seeing it in California, where so many of the cities have deteriorated because of the population and the socioeconomic crap in the tent cities, and people are exiting so much. But it happened in like places like Detroit and stuff first. And because my mother grew up in Detroit, and she was like, I remember these bustling cities, the auto industry, and
it
was
a huge industrial
concrete jungle and all this. And then Mother Nature started eating Detroit when people started moving out. When it was, we started shipping our automotive overseas.
The earth will reclaim everything.
Moving our factories overseas. And then Donald Trump started moving factories back for the short time that he was here. But I think that's what we're in. And if you go and look at some of the stuff in Detroit and stuff, like so quickly, my mom lives in Arkansas, and it's like a jungle over there. If you don't keep the land.
Have you seen Westwood? Have you seen the Barn Foundation? You see how fast those weeds grow up?
Yes. If you don't keep it beat back, it will take over.
Earth always wins. It takes over everything. All these ancient civilizations that built all these things that we can't build now. You go to Mexico and you look at the towering structures that are being uncovered all the time. And like, well, we didn't know that was there, that pyramid. All of that work.
Earth will reclaim it.
And it just takes it back into the earth.
Yeah.
And so it's just like water. You talked about that with Sean on Tuesday. No water leaves this planet. We are a contained ecosphere. We are this
energy, right? And energy never ends.
Exactly. It just gets transformed into something else.
Just gets turned into something else. So none of this ever leaves the planet. No. Even Ben and I talked about this. He's getting so frustrated because they're like, oh, this toxic whatever. He's like, that's a bunch of shit.
The earth will
absorb it and clean it, heal it, whatever, and bring whatever energy that is good and positive.
Because why? Because it came out of the earth.
Yes.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Everything that is here that we made toxic because we put two things together that might be toxic to us is not toxic
in the short term, but in the earth's term, it's gonna be fine. Yeah. It's gonna heal itself unless there's an existential event, and that's the anomaly. That's the thing that could happen to where, just like gold, for instance. Let's take that. There's so much gold on the earth. We can get as much as we can out of it. Is what it is. Now, if an asteroid hits and it's got all this gold in it, well, there's all this new gold that came from outside of this closed system. And, then that kind of changes the game a little bit. But, all of the civilizations, if you look at history, you look at Atlantis, you look at Lemuria, Mu, all these ancient civilizations that we still have a record of. If you tap into the Akashic record, tap into your DNA that stores all this stuff, because it's all inside you. That's what it is. And we store all this information for millennia. And it existed. And then what happened? Okay, Bhagavad Gita. Let's talk about that a little bit. And the reason why I bring it up is because Tulsi Gabbard did not swear an oath on the Bible when she took office. She swore an oath on the Bhagavad Gita, which was a Hindu text, an ancient Hindu text. And I think in that one, if it wasn't in that one, it was in other ones, to where you've got gods warring and destroying things. And it sounds like they had used like nuclear weapons to destroy each other. And this is thousands of years ago. And yet we still have civilization and plants grow now. The earth has been destroyed many times over. Civilizations have been destroyed and been lost, buried, and then we're uncovering them later. The earth, you can't destroy the thing. I mean, you just can't. It rejuvenates itself and it buries it, and that's why we have fossil fuels, right? All the dinosaur
and that's where,
bones.
like, to bring it back to Bitcoin or crypto, the truth is that when we can, and I know it's still humans recording the truth, but it's also things like, like with the Mighty Lair, if we can go in and find something where, like, okay, there's a bunch of third-party individuals making a governance vote, like we're all voting, like on this change proposal. Okay, here's a proposal, and that's on chain now, that this happened posted on 9/29/2022, that these were the options: Mighty logo, cartoon of Lisa, pic of wait, me? I thought it was
Westwood and Lisa on the scooter.
Yeah, and
classic.
All of us.
We want that to be
wearing the Mighty T-shirt. Yeah, and then we have all those, and so all those things, all that stuff is what makes that forever stored on the blockchain.
Right, and see, that's where the innovation of the blockchain is something that, okay, you think about it, the pyramid. People say the library of, I can't even remember the name of it. Somebody in the chat knows. But supposedly the great library is buried underneath the Sphinx. It's somewhere.
We did
all this knowledge is just buried and lost, and we don't have it anymore. I mean, the blockchain offers something that we have created that we know it has limitations. We know that it can be stored forever. As long as we have, the computers one computer to run it, it's always going to exist. So everybody worries about an EMP. An EMP, you ain't gonna have no Bitcoin. Well, as long as that one computer is still running somewhere in some deep jungle, running off solar panels or something, you're still maintaining that blockchain. And when you start thinking about that and the beauty of that, it's an important thing to maintain our history and who we are, because 1,000 years, a million years from now, I think of
I think it's the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? Is that what you're
thinking? That's one of the old ones. Well, there's the Time Machine by H.G. Wells. When the guy goes forward in time, and you got the Eloi and the Morlocks.
Library, though.
No, I know. I'm like going all over the place, but we need to store and maintain our history is what we need to do, and a lot of it's been lost, and we have legends of it, passed down, and the same thing, Gilgamesh. that Epic of Gilgamesh. They got, find it on a stone tablet somewhere. Those things we get remnants of, and then the analogy I'm using is when you look at H.G. Wells and the Time Machine, he goes way far in the future, like 3,000 years in the future, whatever it is. You got the Eloi, innocent living on Earth, and then you got the Morlocks that live in the caves that come out and eat them. But there's a point where they come into this decayed, overgrown room, and they still have like crystals to where it still maintains the memory of what happened. And you plug this crystal in, that crystal in, and it shows it on the screen of the history of what happened. And the blockchain's kind of like that. If we can kind of keep that going and maintain that record in some way, then future generations are going to be able to look back and see who we are. It's not like a book. It's something that can be maintained and decentralized on multiple computers. And I mean, maybe it's on crystals, maybe it's on who knows what.
Another lot tip to I am for participating in Mighty Lair today and posting a comment or a reply on your
somebody's in the arena
post. Thank you, I am. So I am is on the Coffee with Den on Wednesdays that I sometimes participate in.
I am.
I typically show up in my robe and big sunglasses because I don't get dressed. They do it really early. On Den Social, so you guys should watch that sometime. It's pretty funny.
That's the one time Lisa comes out with a martini.
No, I have like an energy drink because I don't drink coffee, but it's on Coffee with Den. So you can go to Lairs and go to Coffee with Den. Actually, you can watch old ones on here. Oh, no show this week. He must be trying. Oh, no, that's an old one. Coffee with Den. Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that's Jacob Wayne posting some stuff on there. But he's now on Odyssey, Coffee with Den. So here's the 46 wrong answers and top posts. I think I jumped in at the very end of that one, or maybe I was in the chat. And then 42 top posts and coffee. But he'll post here, and then you can also go to YouTube and look for Coffee with Den on Wednesday mornings. And if you go here, you can join. There's a link. So you go to the post, and then he has like the join the StreamYard live. Click here to join the host live during the show, and you can like be on the show with everybody and ask questions. And so if you have questions about Den, he'll walk you through stuff. He'll click on stuff. They'll ask. They're super smart. They know all kinds of stuff about computers and programming and many other things. Anyway, it's very interesting. Oh man, it's just been a crazy week. So we've got a big week coming up.
What's coming up?
October 17th on Monday. I think that's a significant day.
The first 17 post was, what did we determine? October 28th, 2017, the first.
Was it the 28th?
I think so. October 28th was the first post ever from the, yeah.
The first drop.
First drop.
And then, things aren't looking so bright in the financial.
We've got our lunar eclipse, full lunar eclipse on what, the 7th to the 8th?
25th.
Of November. I think that's a partial solar eclipse, I think.
Okay.
But there's a full lunar eclipse on, I think, November 7th and 8th.
25th is it's a new moon, full new moon.
Okay. And I think there's an eclipse too.
An eclipse on you're right, the 7th or 8th.
Who we need is, and I never get his name right on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It's Crypto.
Full moon.
Crypto.
Oh, you're right. New moon on the 25th and then a full moon on the 8th of November. Dang, I had a whole list on I can go to my Telegram. I know I have it listed in the book study, all the dates, because my Sam, there's a couple people that I follow that do all that. You and your dad and I got into it with all that.
Yeah, that happens.
But that's okay. Everybody can have.
We all have our own, we all have our own belief system, our own faith, our own rooting that we have. And it's just that, it's bigger sometimes than, here's my outlook on life. And I've always been this way. I'm a skeptic. So if somebody tells me something, I tend not to believe it. And I want to do my own research. And it goes with religion. It goes with everything. I know how human nature is and how it can be corrupted. Mm-hmm. And it's just that, that's why I always say trust yourself, because you've got terabytes of information that's stored on your DNA. They tried to tell you it was junk DNA. That was the thing in the past, a few decades ago. It's just junk DNA. It doesn't do anything. And then you think about it. I watched a video to where you look at some of these big churches, you think of these churches, the spires and the architecture and the windows. And that was specifically what this person was talking about, the windows, the glass. What does this glass mean? It's got all these intricate designs in it. And this person made the argument that some of those big round windows are on some of these major cathedrals, it's a top-down view of your DNA. And so you look at the DNA, how it strands up. If you were to look at that from a different perspective, top-down, that emits a certain frequency. And he's making the argument that these glass pieces, in some of these churches are a top-down view of the DNA. And that represents a frequency. So when you're in there, it affects your DNA so that, it might move and transform into that particular design. And so when you go into certain churches, the intent was to put you in a different mindset, or really a different, set of properties inside your being. You know, it restructures that. And then you look at what happened in the last 2 years. Oh, shoot.
And all the chanting.
Hand talker. But you look at what happened in the last 2 years. What do they want to do? They want to restructure your DNA and RNA. And you think, okay, there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, all the information is already stored inside you. I mean, Harvard studies have shown that you can store terabytes of information on your DNA. And people talk about in the chat, like the Akashic record and how you can open your third eye, the pineal gland and all that, to where all you're doing is tapping into yourself is really what it is. And, you know, and tapping into that frequency and, you know, everything's already in here and you're just like opening it up. You've got all the information inside of you. And there's good forces that want to open the good part of it and help you to see who you really are. And there's bad forces that want to manipulate that and destroy that and reconfigure that into something else and make you who you're not.
Yeah. So Mercury in retrograde, this is what a friend of mine said, goes out of the shadow on October 17th. So I thought that was interesting. So that's Monday.
I mean, we're there. We're what, the 14th today? Yeah, 14th.
Yeah, because Monday will be the 17th. And then full moon eclipse on October 25th.
Okay.
That's not right. It's a new moon.
No, it's not a full moon.
It's not a full moon. It's a new moon.
No, because we had a full moon here.
So it's a new moon. But they are both eclipsed. So it's a new moon eclipse. Sorry, that's a misspeak. New moon eclipse on October 25th. And then the full moon is not till November 8th. But things in balance.
And that's a full lunar eclipse somewhere in the world.
Yeah. And
on
then
the 7th into the 8th.
Things in balance October 8th through 23rd. That's interesting. Find balance and peace in yourself. So that was a message from a friend of mine that I shared.
That's where we're at, though. You cannot deny that things, I mean, look at what's happening around the world. I mean, you look at the major changes that are starting to occur. Mm-hmm. I mean, just turn on the TV screen, watch the financials, watch how people are reacting. And I mean, you just got to know what the truth is. And again, you got to trust yourself. You got to know what you got to be into. I put myself in this position where I'm at. I've had many opportunities to leave, be in certain places, and I chose not to. Mm-hmm. And people have chosen, you know, I got a guy right here that's getting licked to death by one of my dogs. He's chosen to be here. And it's just like what motivates us, what gets us to these places.
Again before the end of the year?
I don't see myself traveling. I don't. I'm not going to the Litecoin Summit, you know, and I've been to the first two.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's just, you know, this is just my own personal thing.
Yeah, I've had several people say that this is the year for the $100,000 Christmas parties, though.
I mean, it could be from the standpoint of if we have a triple top, and there's some thought out there that that's what this is.
It would be very last minute, though, right?
It would be, well, if you think about it, yeah, it would have to be because, you know, something snaps and then it's just.
And then everybody has the finances to travel and we figure it out and it's last minute and we all.
It very well could be. And it's just, it's day by day. And that's what I mean. It's about survival. It's about just knowing where you're at, what you have, and it's hard to plan ahead when there are so many things right now that are going on. And so, you know, I'm not making plans. You know, last year we made all these plans. Hey, where are we going to be this month, that month? You know,
we were.
And then this year it's just kind of, I don't feel it. I just, you know, last minute decision for you. You came here last week. Last minute.
You know how Uncle Cliff had like last year was supposed to be the year zero. I felt like this year was year zero.
Well, I think year zero started in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Because at the Litecoin Summit, you know, Bix had his event before the Litecoin Summit and Cliff gave his speech. Year zero was going to be 2020. We didn't know anything about, you know, what happened at that point. And, you know, what he was talking about, how things are going to change in a drastic way. And they did. It was a 9/11 event. It really was, to where the world will never be the same. And that's the clock. It starts at zero. I don't know where it goes, how long it goes. I'll have to look back. But yeah, that was
like
year zero. It's like a new age started
like
in 2020.
Like AD, BC.
Right.
Going to be
right. There's a zero age, and
time.
then it's before C, but after C. You know, the C word.
C before D.
I mean, C before what? This before what's D? You know,
What's
that's the question.
D?
I don't know.
Oh wow, that could be the C before D.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a renaming of a new point in time. A new.
You know, one of the last 17 posts was when we realized that the election had, you know, gone a different way. The last one I remember, and I think there's been a couple of posts since then, but the last one I remember was scare event is necessary. There's a scare event that is necessary.
All you're hearing. Yeah.
So you know, take it for what you will.
I do feel like we're hearing a lot of like where I'm kind of almost bored with it or irritated a little bit, where I'm like, didn't we talk about this 3-4 years ago? Like these narratives are coming back.
But you think about, you know, all of the data that Cliff saw that he had to stop doing because, you know, it was polluted. But you think about all the things, it was almost like it just got stonewalled because somebody came in and stopped it temporarily. The thing is, you can't stop human nature. And let's relate it to crypto. Crypto, if you look at the chart, it's just human emotion. That's all it is. That's all markets are. It's just human emotion. It's up and down, and it follows certain cycles. That's why you can say, well, it's following this cycle. You know, this is, you know, the panic, you know, the euphoria, all this stuff. You can compress it. You can extend it. Ultimately, though, that energy is already built in, and you can compress it, but at some point it explodes. And it's just like a human being. You can hold back your emotion. You can say, no, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to get in the argument. But at some point you're triggered and it all comes out. And that's the way I look at crypto, because in markets and anything like that, all these timelines, you can push it back. You can hold it back. You can delay it like they've been doing. At some point, it will correct, and it will correct violently if you have suppressed it. You know, if you let the natural flow of things go, you know, it's very easy to read the charts. But when you manipulate it, when you get into it, when you stifle it, when you do certain things, yeah, you can hold it back or you can accelerate it. But at some point, it will revert to the norm of what it should be. And I look at that with some of these cryptos. They've been stifled. Litecoin's been stifled. And at some point, it violently corrects. When that is, I don't know. But there's only so long that you can hold that ball underwater. Right. How long can you hold that ball underwater? You know, how long can you keep holding it underwater before it explodes? You run out of energy to do it. And then it's gone. It's out of the pool. And when's that moment? I don't know. Psychics have seen it happening. It's just, why did it happen? It will happen. It's just, when does it happen? Because you can't hold it back forever.
Yeah, I hope.
That's my thought.
I hope it happens soon.
No, I think we're on the right side of history. I just do, and I don't doubt that. So yeah, I mean, we could still be in a, you know, in the previous cycle that never kind of did what it was supposed to do.
I think that's where, for this time, this is the best time to be like building, be thinking about like what you want that to look like. Because you guys remember what it was like. If you were here during the ICO craze or in the hype of even was it last summer when everything was kind of pumping and all the fanboys were in and all that kind of stuff. And it just got noisy about when number go up and all that kind of stuff. And that's when it just gets noisy. People get distracted. And right now is where like the purists are in. It's about sound money.
The true believers are here.
Yeah, it's about sound money. This light is killing me. It's about sound money. It's about
the light.
Freedom. It's about those kind of, core values that we want to push forward to help humanity and help people. And so now's the time where make big moves in a bear market, make big moves with building things and making big steps and strides during this time, because when number go up, then all the fanboys come in and it gets noisy.
That's when all the vampires come out of the shadows, out of the dark. I mean, we're in the light right now, Lisa. You're in the light. This is the time when, like you said, things are built and the truth comes out. You find out who the true people are. You really do. And I mean, when it happens, be prepared, know what you need to do, have a plan, know, what it is you want to do to change the world. I mean, you're here to change the world. Every one of you listening is here to change the world in some way, some small way, some large way, doesn't matter. You're here to change the world. So you've got an opportunity to store up those weapons, to put that battle armor on right now, and you're ready to go when it's time. I mean, this is the time. I mean, it really is. I mean, you just got to, and that's why you just got to trust yourself and, find that deep spiritual place to know who you are and know what matters in life. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't trust anybody else. Trust yourself. Yeah. You've got to trust yourself because you know the answers. You know the answers. It's just a failure to act. That's really what it comes down to. Never, and this is a Thoreau thing, don't lead a life of quiet desperation.
That's the second quote from Thoreau today.
So simple. Don't lead a life of quiet desperation. Don't sit back and think that you could do something and then don't do it when you have the ability to do it and then you didn't do it. I mean, don't lead a wasted life. I mean, just do it. Believe in yourself. And I mean, this is, Mitch, the other day, what did Mitch do? Gets people into crypto, leaves a seed card, and that's the thing. Do those little things, do those things that make an impact in this life and create a wave or a frequency that affects someone else. And you have no idea what that does to people. I mean, you just don't, you don't know what that ripple effect does. This is the time to do it. I mean, you're all so powerful. Everybody's powerful. Just don't let these vampires tell you you are not. Live in the light. Do what you believe.
Those are the things we can do. So you guys go join Mighty Lair on Den Social so that I can give you some lot. You can participate, earn passive income through your earning energy and tokens through that, your cryptocurrency there, and follow Westwood on YouTube there. You can.
The thing is, I'm afraid if I get to 1,000 subscribers, they're going to start banning all my old videos. So, maybe if we can keep it like at $9.99. But it doesn't matter. All that knowledge is out there on Odyssey. It's all backed up on a blockchain. It's all out there. So for posterity, it's there. But it doesn't matter to me. You've got to trust yourself. You got to put that information out there. You've got to step out of the shadows. And we've all had that issue. I had that issue. And, you want to wrap this up, but my story is in 2018, I went to the Litecoin Summit. I started making videos after that because I felt compelled that I had to. And I've got talent. I mean, and I can get out there and do stuff, but I was just like, do I want to put my ugly mug out there, my face out there? And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to talk whatever comes to me, whatever my truth is. So many times, and Mitch and I have talked about this so many times, you'll say something and somebody will repeat it and say, oh my gosh, that inspired me. And I'm like, what? I don't remember saying it because it just comes from something else. It comes from just a deeper level, that spiritual level to where you just say it. You're just resonating with something deeper than who you are. It's not us. It's what's in us that's coming out. So use that body, use that avatar, use this tool that you've been given while you have it because it's all going to fade away. Use it now. And don't have that regret to where you got to come back and deal with those karmas, those karmic things that are attached to you. Get them all out right now and be the person you were born to be right now. That's what you got to do. Now's the time. This is the battle. We're in it. I mean, now's the time that the vampires can go away. Be the light. It's really what it comes down to. Be that lighthouse.
So I think Anarchapulco, February.
Well,
2023.
I got some inside information on some stuff that you're going to go nuts over, but I can't tell you because I'm sworn to secrecy. There are big things coming. There is a lot of light coming that will inspire a lot of people. So
Well,
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Keep fighting. Survive. 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 Survive.
Get through this thing. We'll get through this thing together. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for so much. We have the best chat community.
I love everybody in this chat. I keep pulling up my iPad, looking at it, and I'm just like, true warriors.
You guys are the best.
Spiritual warriors.
Thank you so much. Please give us a like, share, and get more people in the chat joining us, and invite your friends to join us. We are going to be doing, Andy Sheckman's going to join me on a Twitter Spaces. Westwood, I hope you'll join us. And
when is that going to be?
Wednesday night.
Okay. All right.
And
remind me.
I'll remind you.
Okay.
It'll be Wednesday night and on Twitter Spaces, and I'll be talking about it next week. And then what else do we have coming up? I think
we might have a Spaces coming up tonight. We'll see. It's been a while.
I gotta put more streamers up in the house. Cannon said there's not enough. So
the road to hell is paved with unhung streamers.
Oh my gosh. I'm like hanging all kinds of Fortnite things all over my house. I'm just like, anyway, it's fine. It's fine. All right. You guys take care.
Love it. I love y'all. Trust yourselves. You have to.
Trust yourselves.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.